After being financially independent for nearly 3 years now, after living the lifestyle, I can definitely say that a Barista FI lifestyle is much better than a traditional financial independence lifestyle. Hello everyone, my name is Zach and welcome to On Cashflow, where I help you become a master of your own cash flow. Now let's get started. But hold on now, what actually is Barista FI? Well, it's very simple. Barista FI is simply continuing to work on a part-time basis while partially living off of your investments. So you have a little bit of money coming in from your investments and you have a little bit of money coming in from a part-time position. However, the barista part of it is kind of falling out of fashion. Too many people are associating it with just working part-time as a barista, which is definitely not what it means. That's just where it originated from. So a lot more people are calling it financial independence, recreational employment. You get to keep the nice little FIRE acronym there. So that is basically what it is. Usually working part-time on something that you enjoy rather than having to work for a certain amount of money, i.e. a full-time position that earns you the maximum amount of income. Now, if you haven't been exposed to the whole Barista FI idea, this is basically how it works. So let's say you have a spending requirement of $50,000. You say, hey, I want to spend $50,000 per year. How you get to that $50,000 is you can use some from your investments and some from part-time income. So maybe you say, I want $30,000 to come from my investments, and then I'm going to work part-time and earn the other $20,000. So you can take that $30,000 and you can make a regular financial independence plan around that $30,000. If you are using a 4% withdrawal rate, then that would be $750,000 of invested assets that you would need. $750,000 times 4% equals $30,000 per year. And if you wanted a more conservative withdrawal rate of 3%, then you would need about $1 million because $1 million times 3% is $30,000 per year. So that would cover that $30,000. And then it's up to you to work in whatever capacity that you want to earn that other $20,000 to meet your total $50,000 of spending needs. And by the way, in case you didn't know, this actual video is kind of like an improvement of a video that I did well in the past. So if you're really interested, you want to watch that video from the past, you can. I'm going to put it at the end of this video. Let me go ahead and share with you the types of Barista FI. Maybe not all of them, but the primary types that you could live a Barista FI lifestyle. The first one and the most common one is just a regular part-time job. So instead of having to work full-time, 40 plus hours a week, you can work part-time, maybe only 20 hours a week. And mainly, I think that this option is done for the benefits, i.e. health insurance. Because health insurance is so expensive and there's a lot of unknowns around it, especially in the United States, many people choose to work a part-time job with health insurance benefits that are really good so that they can have that health insurance coverage while only having to work, let's say, 20 hours per week. And yes, I do have another related video on that about many employers that offer the best benefits for part-time employees. So definitely check that video out if you're interested. Another really cool, interesting type of Barista FI is seasonal employment. So imagine only working like 3 or 4 months out of the year. Yes, you're working full-time during that part of the year, but you're earning pretty much all of your annual income that you're going to need in your Barista FI lifestyle within that season, 3 or 4 months. So let's say that you earn that $20,000 in 3 months. Well, now you have the other 9 months in order to enjoy spending that money plus the amount of money that's coming from your regular investments. So you have $50,000 to spend in that whole year. You earn $20,000 of it in a 3-month season. So that's a really good example. And I actually think that this is a pretty cool one because it's kind of like you have a time of your life when you're focused on work, and then you have another time in your life when you're focused on play, when you're focused on doing other activities rather than work. For example, I personally have for a long time thought about trying to be a tax preparer because I'm very interested in taxes and I do want to help people out because I know many people do not know anything about how to file their taxes and stuff like that. So I think it would be a pretty cool, fun seasonal employment for me to try out. So maybe I will do that in the future. Here's another popular way to be Barista FI, and that is freelance self-employment. By definition, by being a freelancer, you are working on maybe like a project and you're paid just to do that project. The common term would be a independent contractor. And now with the advent of so many different technologies, there are so much more opportunities for freelance work in our society today. There are many different ways that you can be involved in freelance. There are many different ways that you can be self-employed in that way. And for some people who enjoy doing that kind of work, it can be a really great way for you to balance work and play in your Barista FI lifestyle because you can choose the kind of freelance work that you want to do. The next option is a little bit more involved, and that is just managing a small business. So you could start your own small business or you could buy an existing small business. And I think the main point of what you would want to do with this type of Barista FI is that you would want to pacify the business as much as possible. So you'd want to build the business where it's earning, a good amount of income for you as the owner, but then you would also want to pacify it a little bit so it doesn't require you to work a full-time job actually managing the business all the time, right? So you could find ways to make the business a lot more passive, where it could still earn you some income, the amount of income that you need, while also only requiring a limited amount of hours per week or per month, however you want it to be. And similar to managing a business, I think that another lifestyle that could be considered Barista FI is actually managing a rental real estate portfolio. I think that is considered to be Barista FI because it does take a few hours per week to manage your rental portfolio. And it obviously depends on what kind of rental real estate that you're involved in. It obviously depends on how many units you have, and it's not as passive as investing simply into paper assets such as stocks and bonds, right? You are going to have to put a few hours in managing that rental real estate. Let's just say you have maybe 15 single-family homes in your rental portfolio. It's going to take a few hours per week just to generally manage that. Even if you have property managers that are doing the day-to-day work for you, you are going to have to, take questions and make decisions. And so that could be considered a nice little Barista FI lifestyle. And this is the kind of lifestyle that I've slowly started to build up. Right now, currently, as I make this video, I only have 2 rental properties, but I slowly want to acquire a little bit more. And that would give me a nice little Barista FI lifestyle by managing a little small business of rental real estate. Now, really quickly here, I just want to say that I put a lot of effort and research into all of these videos, and I would really appreciate it if you could help me out by hitting the like button on this video. Next, let's cover a really important topic, and that is why choose Barista FI, right? We've talked about what it is and how you can achieve it, but why would you even want to do this? And I have several good reasons for you. Perhaps the most significant reason is that it could give you a sense of purpose, and it could give you some fulfillment in your life. Believe it or not, humans do want to be a part of something. We just have this thing inside us that we want to be a part of something, and we want to feel like we're contributing to our family, contributing to our society. And it's just something that I think that all of us have deep down inside. By being Barista FI and still being involved in doing some kind of work, I think it can give you that sense of purpose and that sense of fulfillment. Not only that, but we talk about work-life balance all the time, and it's really hard to have a work-life balance when you're working 40, 50, 60 hours per week, right? It feels like there is no balance. It feels like you're either sleeping or you're at work, and you have that small amount of time in between where you're already tired from working so many hours. So I think that actually by being Barista FI, it actually can give you that work-life balance because you can either choose to work, half the time that normal people work, like 20 hours per week, or you can choose to work on stuff that you want to work on, and it might be less draining on your energy because it's something that you are excited about and it's something that you are building yourself. Our next big reason why Barista FI I think is really awesome for a lot of people is that the speed at which you can actually attain it. You can achieve Barista FI much faster than you can a regular retirement, a regular early financial independence, because you need less from your investments in order to support your lifestyle. And the percentage that you're going to need from your investments versus from how much you're going to be earning is going to be dependent on what you're going to be doing as that, part-time work. Some part-time work doesn't pay very much. Some part-time work can pay a lot depending on just what you're doing. But the point being that in order to reach the same spending requirement, you're going to need a lot more time in order to achieve that if you're going for traditional financial independence versus if you're going for a Barista FI style. And then of course, how can I not mention the obvious benefit, and that is that you get some income and you could possibly get some benefits depending on what kind of work you're doing. There has to be something said about that being a reason to pursue Barista FI, because income that you get from work, let's just say use the part-time job example, that is income that's unrelated to your investments. So if there's something bad temporarily happening with your investments, let's say stocks are having a bear market, you're less affected if you're not 100% reliant on that, if you have some money still coming in from a part-time job. And then you have the fact that you can take the amount of income that you're having and you can ramp it up or down depending on what your needs are, especially if you're going the route of like self-employment or you're going the route of managing a small business, right? You could put a little bit more work, a little bit more effort, and possibly increase your income. Or you could say, hey, I have more than what I need right now. I can dial down and work fewer hours, earn less income from this source, maybe because my investments are doing well or whatever it may be. So you have that ability and you have that power if you're still Barista FI in order to ramp up or down your income and ramp up or down the amount of hours that you work. And lastly, going back to how Barista FI was originally thought of, it was originally thought of working at Starbucks in order to get the benefits that Starbucks offers to its part-time employees. But now, of course, we know that many different employers offer similar benefits, very substantial benefits. And sometimes you could be working part-time and getting very generous benefits such as health insurance. Health insurance can cost multiple hundreds of dollars, possibly like over $1,000 for a family. But if you're working part-time, only 20 hours a week at a company that offers health insurance for part-time employees, you could be paying, significantly less just because you're working part-time. You're developing that work-life balance by being Barista FI. But this leads me to the big question. I want to know from you in the comments below. What are your thoughts on the whole Barista FI, financial independence, recreational employment? Do you think it's better than traditional FI? Yes, no, maybe, it could be. Please let me know in the comments below. I'm really curious to hear what you have to say. And now, as I mentioned earlier, this is an update to a video that I made several years ago. Okay, I think this is a better version of why Barista FI is the best version of financial independence. But if you're curious to watch that older video, I'm gonna put it right here up on the screen, right after I get off the screen. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'm Zach from OnCashflow.com, and hope to see you next time. Next, let's and this is the kind that, do you think it's better than traditional financial